Namaste, hello, and welcome back to another video on Hamsavahini Vajraasthra.I'm Awhona I, and today's video is going to be about my wrap-up for Randomathon 2024. Now, Randomathon was a 2-week readathon which was created and hosted by Maci from The Bright Side Girl. I'll leave a link to all her announcement videos and other related videos in the description box below and in the overhead cards above as we progress further. So do please join me further in this video. So now let's come around to the books which I read for this readathon. So the first book which I finished was called The Kingdom by Jess Rothenberg, and this was a 4-star read for me. It was for the prompt, a book set in an amusement park, and I absolutely loved it. It is a sci-fi book. It's set in a futuristic dystopian setting. There is an amusement park called The Kingdom which has state-of-art technology. It's got android bioengineered creatures or extinct species, as well as bioengineered android human beings who are perfected, and they are programmed to entertain the guests and the visitors. But there is some sinister project which is underlying these android human beings as well, and they are half circuitry and half flesh, and they are being programmed to do something more sinister. And there are people who are present within that amusement park who are trying to take advantage of these perfected android beings as well. So the android beings have to help each other, and they have to evolve in consciousness, and that is what this book is all about. At the very heart, there is also a murder, and one of these android beings is suspected of this murder, and she has to go through a complete court case. So I have spoken more about this book in length in one of my other videos, whose link I will leave in the description box below as well as in the overhead cards above. I've also posted my Goodreads review, whose link I will leave in the description box below, should you be more interested to know more about my take on this particular book. So that was the first book. And the next book which I read was The Illusionist Apprentice by Kristy Cambron. And this was for the prompt, The Magician. And this was again a 4-star read for me. I absolutely loved the way in which this book was written. The language was beautiful. And this was about a murder mystery in which we have a very famed spiritualist who claims to have superpowers over the dead, and he can resurrect a dead corpse, and he does this by putting on a huge stage show. Now the police suspected that there could be some hoax in this, so they did post their policemen amongst amongst the crowd as well. And sure enough, the spiritualist tried to resurrect a 20-year-old corpse, and he did manage to do this, but within 2 minutes the corpse fell down dead. It missed the entire crowd, and that proved that this was not a resurrection of a corpse, but it was a plain murder. And in order to prove this, the detectives try to rope in a famous magician's apprentice, and this magician, in his best of years were used to try and debunk such spiritualists who used to try to prove that they had superpowers, and they used to hold seances, etc. So the apprentice knew about the tricks of the trade, so they tried to rope in this apprentice, and the apprentice had her own personal life, which starts getting unraveled gradually within this entire plot. And there's a love affair which goes on over here as well. There are enemies who turn into friends in heated moments, and it was absolutely a wonderful read for me. So if you would like to know more about this, I have spoken in length about this book in another video of mine. I'll leave a link in the description box below and in the overhead cards above, as well as my Goodreads review link is posted in the description box below for this particular book. Now, the next book which I did read was called Undertow by Michael Buckley, and this did tick off 3 prompts: a Ferris wheel on the cover, curtains or tents on the cover, as well as misfits. So this was a YA fantasy which has mermaids and merpeople, and there is a race of beings called the Alpha, who are sea-dwelling creatures, and they are made up of a group of merpeople as well as other beings whom you find in the sea. They are able to live on land as well, and they try to occupy the beach of one of the very lesser known islands called Coney Islands, but that becomes hot news, and the government tries to make a pact so that the Alpha as well as human beings can live side by side, and therefore they try to arrange an educational program where the children of human beings as well as children of the Alpha beings can study together, but that is vehemently opposed by the general public, and there are very few who actually support the Alpha. So our main protagonist is a very simple girl who whose mother is a beach yoga teacher, as well as her father is in the police, but she is chosen for a very special project which is concerning the Alpha, and it is a story in which she discovers a lot about herself and her family, and how she tries to see both sides of the situation, which is from the human's view as well as from the Alpha's view as well. And the ending is a sort of cliffhanger, but it definitely is something which will keep you hanging, so that you know you will be encouraged to get to the second part as soon as possible. So I will be going through the second part very soon. So this was a 4-star read for me, and I will leave a link to my Goodreads review in the description box below. And also I've spoken a bit about this book in one of my other videos, and that will be in the overhead cards above as well. So now the next book which I did read was Bacchanal by Veronica G. Henry, and this was a 4-star read for me again, and this was for the prompt Ferris wheel on the cover as well as misfits. So at the very heart, this story is all about African spirituality, and this is about an all African moving or traveling carnival. So we do have a businesswoman called Stephanie, who is in Harlem and New York, and she is threatened by a witch doctor called Obia, who tries to snatch away her business. So in desperation, Stephanie tries to summon a demoness through her spiritual tradition called the Yoruba, and the demoness promises and makes a pact with Stephanie that she will erase all opponents of Stephanie or anybody who tries to threaten her business, and in exchange Stephanie has to allow her nephew to get her a passage to the human world. And the basic motive of this particular demoness is to find the human descendants of a goddess who is her opponent, and she needs to kill them before they come to kill her. So this is agreed upon by Stephanie, and so this demon Ahiko starts a traveling carnival who has all the oddities as well as wonders of Africa, and she travels along with this carnival by the name of Geneva, and they try to search and hunt for any sort of odd or wonderful creatures and human beings or freaks who can be put together, and they can put on a show. So on the other hand, we see that a human descendant of this goddess enters into this carnival as a means of escape, and from her life in which she used to work as a housemaid because her parents had abandoned her, and she tries to search for her parents through this moving carnival in the various spots they try to perform for the crowd. And this girl is actually a descendant of this goddess, and she is unaware of it. Her powers have not yet surged. The only power that she knows she has is to communicate with animals, and she goes undetected by this demoness or Geneva, who's actually the main owner of this carnival. So how she comes around to discovering her power, how she understands that she is a descendant of a goddess, and what her main challenge is for this particular life, and how she is reunited with her family who had abandoned her, is what the story is all about. So this was a 4-star read for me, and I've left the link for my Goodreads review in the description box below as well. And the next book which I did read was the group read, which was Midnight at Houdini's. Now, this was a 3-star read for me, and this is a YA which is set in a hotel which is called the Houdini, and it's a magical hotel where we have illusions which keeps the guest entertained. But the problem is that anybody who enters into this magical illusionary world has to find a way to get out of that hotel before midnight, otherwise they will be stuck in the illusion forever. So they have to solve the mystery of the Houdini, and it is up to Houdini as to how it is up to this magical hotel called the Houdini as to how they try to navigate or try and handle these new visitors. So we do have Anna, who is the second daughter of a very rich and successful hotelier who owns a chain of hotels. The Houdini is one of the hotels which is least managed and least liked by him, but in the face of a tornado, they have to take shelter in the Houdini. They accidentally step into this magical world or illusionary world, and then they are separated and they have to find each other. There are people living in the Houdini who are very real, but then they are being controlled by the illusionary magic of the Houdini, and they know how the cycle goes through. So this is what that story is all about, and I have left my Goodreads review in a link in the description box below for this particular book, and I absolutely enjoyed it. So those are the few books which I managed to complete, and I had a lot of fun with the Instagram challenges as well. So I don't know if I can leave a link to the Instagram challenges, because there were about there was a challenge a day for the 15 days that we had for this readathon. So I loved creating the reels, and I loved participating in it. So thank you so much, Maci, for coming up with such a wonderful idea. So I'll be wrapping up this video. I will be back next week with another video, which should be my TBR for Galaxyathon, as well as the Irish Readathon. I'll leave a link to the announcement videos in the description box below, should you be interested in joining us as well, because they will be taking place in March. So with that, we'll come to the end of this video. I will see you soon next week. So till then, take care, have a good reading week ahead, and namaste.